What's up, all you cool kids? This is Daisy Collins of TsunamiRose.net, coming at you live from my craft room here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as I do, you guys, Monday through Friday, bringing you along here in my craft room, junk journal room in Las Vegas, Nevada, as I do Monday through Friday. Today we are here. We are making ruffles, and I am way too excited. There are ruffles or plates. In the junk journal world, they're also called ruffles. In the real world, I think they're called pleats. I always get chewed out for that, like every time it happens. I'm doing it the slow way. Are there ruffle feet? Yes. Are there other ways to possibly get this effect? Also, yes. Do I like this better? Yes, I do. This is my favorite way to make them. It's a slow process, but it makes me happy, so that's fine. I'm using scrap fabric. This fabric is bed sheets, and they're cut at 1-inch strips. So I have a bunch of 1-inch strips here in this bag to pick from, and they'll be off to the side, and I'll just be grabbing stuff from here. A bunch of fabrics that I have. I also have scrap fabric in my shop if you're interested. But this is going to be for my Valentine's Day journals, and I pretty much use this for all of my journals. I'm just going to be using probably pink and red thread in the middle. I don't know, kind of makes it more Valentine's Day-ish. When I add them to my junk journal, I do a zigzag stitch. So in the end, they do have a really cool zigzag stitch. I'm done. Let me show you what they look like in a journal so you can check it out. Here is a junk journal that I made, and here is what the trim looks like attached to the junk journal. So like I said, I use a zigzag stitch to attach it to the page, and actually it works as a pretty good guide because I put the line that I sewed in the middle, and I put that up against the edge of the page, and then I know where I'm sewing, so it makes it really nice. So that's what we're doing today. Again, this is going to be a very slow process, and I actually have to make sure I have the right things to do it. I normally do a piece of, and I should have watched my old videos, but I usually use a piece of chipboard. 1 inch, no, this is 3/4 inch, sorry, 3/4 inch. And the length doesn't really matter, but for my little hands, this is 6 inch. So you just want to give yourself a little note to work with so that way you can, I'll show you, you need almost like a little handle. Okay, again, let me make sure this is the right size, or is it 1/2 inch? I can't remember. Hey, Beverly, what's up, girlfriend? And then I'm also using a, I think this is like a pedicure tool. But if you got anything pokey, you could try and use it. Again, this is a pedicure tool that I don't use for pedicures, but it's a tool. And let's talk about the strips. Whatever size strip you end up using will shrink down to about half the size. So keep that in mind. If you don't want to work with a bunch of little pieces, then don't. Looks like most of my size is here, almost 3, 6, 9, 12, almost 12-inch strips is what I'm working with. And they are 1 inch. So again, 1 inch wide, about 12-inch strips. And yeah, so that's what we're working with. Let's make sure this is the right size chipboard I need, because I can't remember. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the piece of fabric around. Kind of hold it in place there. No, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over itself. That's what I'm going to do. Fold it over itself. And I'm going to stitch down the middle of this. I have my sewing machine set to a straight stitch on default settings, so it's the smallest stitch you can do. So once I have that folded over itself a little bit, I'm going to put this piece of chipboard and I'm going to slide the fabric underneath, and that's going to be our beginning. And once we're halfway through that piece, I'm going to go over here and do this one. And I think I'm actually going to need a 1/2-inch piece of chipboard instead. I'm looking at my example of what I made here in the past, and I'm thinking this is too wide. Okay, let's look at this. So this is what I made. And this is the example that I'm following. So yeah, it's too wide. So not 3/4 inch. Let's go and see if we can make this 1/2 inch possibly. And I'm gonna try and just, you can use any size chipboard. I do have thicker chipboard than normal. I'm gonna try and see if I can just cut it here on my cutting board, because that's gonna get annoying. Give me 1 second. Get a ruler. It would be impossible for me to whittle this down for my my paper cutter. So let me see if I can do this. If I can't, I'll have to cut out a new piece. This is really thick chipboard from Amazon, so that's why I can't just cut it with my normal cutter. Sometimes it struggles. Okay, there we go. Let's see if 1/2 inch is better. Might be better. Letitia, hi Letitia. Isn't the fabric so shabby? Okay, now we changed it to 1/2 inch. So let's try it again. I'm testing this out because I can't. It's been a minute since I've made this stuff. I normally make a lot of it, so I don't have to make this for a while because it is quite the process to make. Like I said, I do this slow-mo, so it's even more ridiculously slow. I have a ruffle maker. I just haven't been able to get the hang of it, and I just haven't bothered to. But I do have one. I'm no expert, so things are not easy for me sometimes. But this way, I know I can do it, and I know I can do it right, and it looks really nice and straight and everything because it's such a slow process. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure we're doing this right here. So we're going to slide this over. So, sorry, slide it under and then put the fabric underneath that one. Let's get started here. Make sure this is the right size. I'm pretty sure it is. Slide the fabric underneath, and you can slide it a little bit instead of the whole way back. You just got to be careful right here not to let it go. And again, this is such a slow process that I normally get everything pretty straight looking. I'm just trying to, I'm working on this little sample piece right here. Just trying to figure out if this is the right. You know what? Okay. So also something to keep in mind. This is what I want. Yeah, that's what I want. More or less, that's what I want. I think this is my thick chipboard. I think it's too thick. What happens is it makes it hard to slide out, and that kind of catches on the fabric. So there's something we need to change. Not this chipboard then. That's too thick. Let me get like a box from my kitchen. I'm sure something is in the box. Okay, here's the box. I literally am just pulling this out of my kitchen. Okay, so now I know. I normally don't care. But in this case, I It has to be a regular box. Let me grab my paper cutter 1 moment. Okay, should look this up. Okay, Miss Letitia, I hear you. Let me cut this here. I just need a 1/2 inch, which I guess is this right here. I can't. This cutter makes it really hard to find out if it's 1/2 inch or not. Is this 1/2 inch? Okay, this is about 1/2 inch. Okay, this is so thin though, that bothers me. Okay, let's see if we can do this with this. It doesn't have to be particularly strong. And it's literally just a piece of cereal box. But this is like the most important tool to this technique. And you want to cut yourself a couple pieces because they do wear out because they're little pieces of cereal box. Okay. Again, it's because this chipboard is it's just too thick for this technique. So thin, okay, better, I guess. Okay, let's see. Next piece of fabric. Then we're gonna try this on. Make sure we're doing the right side. Let's start it off. This should work better. Again, we're sewing down the middle. Straight stitch. Slide the fabric under. Hold it on the sides here. When you're halfway done with that ruffle or pleat or whatever, do the next one. I used to sell this trim in my shop. It's pretty pricey because it takes me so long to make 1 foot. Or should I say yard? It takes me a while to make a yard. Yeah, this is working out perfectly. See how I can slide the fabric out? Excuse me. Before with the other chipboard, my fabric would want to come out. So with this chipboard, it doesn't. So just so you know, sometimes even with the simplest things, you need to troubleshoot it. There we go. And this is the easiest for beginners because, like I said, it's just really slow stitching. There we go. It's working out. It's working out. Can y'all see me? Can y'all see me? Patricia. I think I'm too close here. And I should have had, I needed lights, I guess. I don't know. But normally when I get up close like this, I can get better detail. Okay, so we're coming to the end of our strip here, right? I'm gonna sew. We got this little nub left. It's probably about what, like 1/2 inch? I'm grabbing another piece of fabric. And we're just gonna gently just fold it in underneath here. And just kind of place it. It's right here, right where I can't go anymore. And we're just gonna keep going. Go through that. And we're just gonna grab a little tool here. And if you can, sometimes it's big enough right here, this little nub. Sometimes you can tuck it in underneath like that and it looks nice and smooth, soft, you know, nice and folded. It looks like nothing happened. There we go. Very slow process here. But you know, you throw on a show that you already know, you're just listening to, or something you could just listen to. I usually like to put on things like King of the Hill, just something that like I already know and I don't need to really pay attention because I'm paying attention over here. I'm just pushing it underneath. Yep. that other chipboard. It's better quality, but not for this job. Not for this job. For this job, I need the cheapest little chipboard. So that motion right there is smooth. That is a very important part of this technique. So you have to make sure you get, I guess a cereal box is the perfect thing for this. Okay, so we're at the last little piece right here. And so I get my little piece of chipboard and I still slide the fabric in. Okay, so now grab our next fabric. And my fabric's actually kind of wrinkly, just a tiny little bit, just from being in the bag, but it's okay. What's up, Miss Patricia? So this fabric here, I'm gonna put it on top of here, like that. But what I actually wanna do is that actually helps me slide it in underneath. Tucking it all in right here. Yep, that happens. Gotta do it again. Just gotta keep tucking it in. All right. Again, that makes it look seamless right there. Just continue on. There's an even slower way to do this. You can stitch by hand. I'm just kidding, don't do that. I don't suggest that. That would drive me insane. That would drive me insane. So that's pretty much it to this technique. It's just a really slow process. It's not taking me probably about 6 minutes to get about a foot done. Or maybe like 10 minutes to get about a foot done. I used to sell this. I used to, I think it was $13 a foot because it just took me so long to make it. And then cutting the fabric, that's quite a challenge in itself. So I always cut up a bunch of fabric. And I don't have to worry about it for a minute. And like I said, normally I'll spend probably about like a whole weekend just doing this, just solid making ruffles. Then I have enough of it for about a dozen journals, but it's very time consuming. But I love the way it looks. I love the way the fabric all transitions. Okay, here we have a little bit of extra tail. We're gonna tuck it in. And let me grab the next piece of fabric. Here is the right piece of fabric. And we're going to tuck it in like that. Again, 1 inch by about 6 to 12 inch pieces of fabric is what I'm working with here. Can make these narrower, but I actually like the 1 inch. I tend to do about 1/2 inch on the page and then 1/2 inch off the page, so it's not a full 1 inch off my pages right now. Again, my fabric here is a little bit wrinkly. Not too bad, but I do kind of stuff it all in a bag. So, but honestly, it straightens itself out. It straightens itself out. There we go. We're coming to the end here. Just so I can show you what we did here. And it just looks so cute. The way that the fabrics, it's like seamless transition on the fabrics, you know? That's honestly my favorite part of making it with this technique. It's just such a flawless, fun transition of fabrics. And I love it. And of course you can, excuse me, hi Miss Gigi. You can use different threads, and that kind of changes up the look too. For these ones, I'm making a bunch of pink, and I'm also going to make a bunch of reds so that they go with the theme of my journals. But normally, honestly, to make this stuff, I use up all of my bobbins. Whatever bobbin I have, that's what thread color, and whenever that bobbin runs out, time to change out the thread color. And it's a good way to use up all the tiny little bits you have on bobbins. It looks freaking adorable. Thank you, Miss Patricia. And of course, you can keep going in one big chain. You can also connect these. So it's not a big deal to just start another piece right underneath. And if you mess up, you could always cut it and just move it, just sew out the part. If you mess up right here, you could just cut this part out and sew this on top of this and keep going. That's the fun part about this. Let's keep it moving here. We're starting off right here. I guess you don't have to fold it over to start. I guess you don't. You can just do this right here to start. Oops, sorry, I'm off camera. Miss Judy, hi. And thank you so much. And you're welcome. I'm probably going to do this all weekend because I need to finish these journals, right? I'm just kidding. There's no rush. But I do need to make this trim because this takes a while. And I'm completely out of it. Have used it all up in the journals that I've made last year. And now Mama needs a new stash of Ruffles. Like I said, the debate continues. In the junk journaling world, in the sewing world, it's pretty much settled. But in the junk journaling world, these are called Ruffles. It bothers some junk journalers who are also in the sewing world. But like I said, that's in the junk journaling world. If I post these on the groups, people will say, yeah, those are Ruffles. But there will always be that one picky junk journaler that's like, those are Pleats. And that's cool too. It's fine. I am mad at you, boo. I am mad at you. Okay, so here's my next piece of fabric, and we're just going to tuck it in. And this is a simple technique, but it does take practice. So don't beat yourself up over it, but it is very slow. And you could always start over. You could always start like this right here. That kind of bothers me. That kind of went off kilter a little bit. I could cut that off, this little piece right here, and then join these. And no one would ever know. And I'm using lightweight fabrics. These are bed sheet fabrics, so they are not thick. I don't know how this would work with thick fabric. So let me, I should probably say that lightweight fabrics, not thick fabrics. Sorry, I'm concerned about my bobbin. Okay, because it was kind of a low on thread. I was trying to use up my scraps. Like I said, if this was for a normal journal, I would just go with whatever little bobbin I have left and then change threads. The threads are also fun to change around. It is fun to use different threads. It's fun when different threads show up on one journal page. That always makes it interesting. I always use a different thread to attach these to my journals because I just like, it just makes it fun for me to look at. And like I said, this is such a slow process that I'm not even worried about not being in the middle. I'm always dead set in the middle. It's just such a slow process. There we go. We need another piece. Let me take a sip of my tea here. I'm glad you are finding it informative, Miss Judy. Okay, this is one of my favorite fabrics. It's pretty pink and yellow, really retro. I love it. Again, the little pokey tool here that I'm using is actually a pedicure tool. I'm sure it's very commonly found on Amazon. I can't remember what I originally bought this for, so I can't remember what it's even called. But I've been told it's a pedicure tool. It's got this little scoop on the other end, and this perfectly like soft and smooth other pokey tool end. I don't know what it's called. Sorry. I've never used it for a pedicure, but just y'all know, it's not like that. To me, it's just a little pokey, scoopy tool thing. And it comes into handy sometimes. And the point that I'm using, the reason why I'm using this tool and is because it just slides. You see how it just slides the fabric underneath, and I can pull it out, and the fabric doesn't come out with it. That's the important part. So whatever tool you have that you can try out to do this technique that gives you that, that's what we're looking for, that ability to put the fabric underneath and then slide out easily. Same thing with this cereal box. When I started this video, I was using this, I was using this chipboard that I used for my actual journals. And so it's nice and thick, but apparently the surface on it is a little bit rough. This is a little bit rough. So I had to go into my kitchen and grab a cereal box. And this thin piece of cereal box here, 1/2 inch by about probably like 4 inches here. If I probably have it about 6 just so I could have a little handle right here. But this was perfect because the fabric didn't snatch. It didn't snatch on the fabric. So see this motion right here where I pull this out and the fabric doesn't come out? That's what we're looking for. And it's so funny because one time my husband started just cleaning up, and sometimes he'll come in my room and he'll clean up my office. He'll throw away, just obvious trash, and like I might have a paper plate or two. So he'll come and he'll clean up. And one time these were on my table, these little scraps, and he threw those away, and I'm like, no, those are not scraps, those are my tools. Those are my tools. And it just reminded me of this one time I was watching Hoarders. And I love the show Hoarders. I was watching Hoarders, and I can't remember what episode or what person, I can't remember, but the person whose house they were cleaning, they were asked, like, you don't trust your family members know what trash is, like you're really not going to let these people just pick the trash, just the obvious trash. And it made me think of that moment. I'm like, you know what? No, I don't trust my family members to know what trash is, because if people came into my room, half of this stuff would probably be classified as trash. I was like, you know what? I think the hoarder is right, you guys. They literally asked him, like, you don't think your family knows what trash is? And I was like, you know what? No, they don't. They don't. They don't understand. They don't get it. That little piece of cereal box was not trash. You sound crazy, you guys. Okay, get the fabric underneath there. And if I was going to be a little bit extra, which I could have been, I could have cut all new fabric that kind of matched my theme a little bit more. But you know what? I kind of use pinky pastel fabrics anyways. I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'm not even going to worry about it too much. I'm just going to use the fabric that I have. I'm going to try and make it a little bit more themed with the thread. Maybe it'll add a little bit more theme to it. I don't know. Okay, here we go. We're at the tail end. And we're just going to grab more fabric here. And again, I kind of put a little bit over it like that, and then I tuck it in. And then I tuck it in all the way to the back. There we go, see that? And then we move on to the next. And that is how we get that seamless transition. And somehow it makes it look like a gradient. I kind of love it. Without even trying, it really does make it look like a Let's see. It's working out great. So that's what I'm saying. The technique is one thing, but then having the right things that just slide out, it might take a couple of tries to figure out what around you can use. I used to use this really long pokey tool. It was to like actually pierce things, and it would work, but sometimes I would literally stab myself. So I'm like, all right, this works, but it also doesn't work. I would just stab myself constantly, and I kind of got over that. At some point, I got over that. So I'm like, we got to look for something else because this is not working out. This is just not working out for me. I'm telling you, Patricia, sometimes I'm like, this is somebody's gonna lose an eye. Somebody's gonna get in trouble with this, and it's gonna be me. Just checking that I still have bobbin left. In the background doing morning chores, Miss Gigi. Miss Gigi. It's like the perfect time for her because it's morning time where she is. This fabric is a little bit thicker than the other bed sheets, but it's still a bed sheet. And this one's pokey, but it doesn't poke me, so that's good. And that's nice. All right, I'm going to end this one. I'm going to attach it to the other one that I made. So I can show y'all. So this is what we just made. And again, it just looks so pretty. The transition on the fabrics. Again, it looks seamless. I love it. I love it. Again, you could use different widths on these ruffles if you want. But again, I find 1 inch is my favorite. So here we have these little knobs here. I'm going to go ahead and add this to this. You could either tuck it in like that, so it looks cute. And then we'll join these right here. And again, you just follow the straight line. You just follow the yellow brick road. Let's see. Oh my God. The Wizard of Oz is out of copyright, so is Winnie the Pooh, y'all. Some people were ready. I didn't even know. Some people were ready. I'm going to back stitch just a little bit. I don't really back stitch anywhere at this point in this process here. Okay, so see? That looks like a mouse, but here it looks nice. Here it looks nice. And so here is my nice, what is this, like 2 feet? It's my nice strand of about 2 feet of ruffles that I was able to do this video. And so I would probably keep bunches of these like this size and then attach them all at the end. I'm just always afraid like, oh, it's going too well, I'm going to mess up, so I better stop here. So I always stop at about 2 feet of trim. Not that, like, it's just me freaking out, but like you could always cut out whatever part you don't like and then just attach it again, like start over like it never happened. But this just looks so cute. It looks really shabby chic. I love it. We're gonna keep going. Where did you get your tool you're using, Susan? Let me see if I can find it. I can't remember. I cannot remember for the life of me. I'm sure it was on Amazon. I just let me see if I look up pedicure tool because I'm sure that's what it is. I wasn't told which pedicure tool it is, but I was just told it was a pedicure tool. I think it's one of these, possibly. It could be, that one's a little bit more curved though. It looks almost the same, but on this side, it's like more pointy. Oh, no. Is it curved though? It looks like it's curved. I will have to look it up because I don't, this one's not exactly it. I'm not finding one that looks exactly like it. I don't know if anybody else knows. Thank you, Susan. Two Susans, Susan 2. Welcome to all the Susans that are here tonight. Let me see. I'm not seeing it in any of these pedicure tools here. Or is it a cuticle? Something about cuticle thing. Cuticle tool. Cuticle tool. That one kind of looks like it. It looks more like it than the other ones. It's not that one either, though. That one looks like it, but not. It looks like that end, but not that end. There's a couple pedicure tools that look like it. I bought it so long ago. I don't think it's in my history anymore. Okay, if I was gonna pick something right now that I thought looked kind of like it, my only issue is, okay, it looks a tiny bit more curved. So if this is not it, I apologize because it's not exactly the one that no. That one looks different. No, they all look different. I can't seem to find one that looks exactly the same. That one has like little ridges. That wouldn't work. That would not work because that one has ridges. It looks more like it. It needs to be smooth. Sorry, I'm taking a minute to look, and I am not. Okay, let's see. Is this it? This, okay, so the tool, okay. So check this out, you guys. The tool in the middle here, hang on. The tool in the middle of this that looks kind of like it. Let me get a link for y'all 1 second. Oh, God. I can't get the right link. Okay, here's a link. It's a long link. The tool in the middle of that set looks more like it than anything I've seen. The one specifically in the middle. It's pointy and it's soft. I mean, it's smooth. I don't know what you'd use the other tools for or what that one in the middle is called that you could possibly get just one of. But check that out. That one looks, the one in the middle looks exactly like this one right here. The other ones I've seen was kind of curved, and that's not what I was looking for. So I'm going to say don't get mad at me, and I apologize if you got 6 pedicure tools you don't need. But I believe it looks like the one in the middle there. Don't quote me, but it looks like the one in the middle. And I saw quite a few sets that did not look the same. And I believe that one looks the most like it. Again, you could try to use what you have at home, as long as you get that nice gliding when you pull out the tool. I've used other things. You could use, you know what I have used? Also seam ripper. A seam ripper, it has that little pokey part. And I have in the past tried it. Let me try it again. So y'all can see that there are other things. Again, just make sure you don't poke yourself, because that's the only issue I had with other things that I tried. Yeah, so a seam ripper also pulls out really nicely. You can see that. So seam ripper also works. Confirmed. Confirmed. Conspiracy confirmed, okay? I was going to say a pencil, but no, I don't think that would work. You could also possibly a popsicle stick if you're on a budget. If you're really on a budget, if you got one around in the house and you don't want to wait to try this technique, you could try a little popsicle stick. You see how I was able to fit the fabric right in between those layers? That's another way you can transition that. I love this fabric so much. Cool, I have one of those things. Try it, try it. Like I said, the worst part is that I would poke myself with it if I don't know how to see. And it does pull out really nice, actually. So again, going over going over what you need, okay? You're gonna need 1 inch by 6 to 12 inch long strips of fabric. You are going to need, you can also use ripped fabric, I suppose, if you can get it 1 inch. I don't know how you could, but I cut this up with you know, a fabric cutter. Hi, Boo-Bush. Oh, y'all, I scored today on Facebook Marketplace, y'all. I scored today. Even my husband was like, oh, yeah, that's a good deal. Like, even my husband knows it was a good deal. Okay, so you know it's a good deal. I bought a medium-sized priority box full of Christmas scrap paper. I had gone to Michael's to see if I could possibly catch, you know, the clearance of Christmas stuff. And I only went to one Michael's, but they didn't have any paper pads. So I didn't get to find any clearance paper pads, so boo-hoo. I should have gone on Christmas Day. Honestly, I wanted to go on Christmas Day. I can't remember if they were closed or not. But I either wanted to go on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas to check, but I didn't. Mostly because I have a lot of Christmas paper already. Don't judge me, but I already kind of have a lot of Christmas paper, and I just want more. So I was able to find this great deal, Facebook Marketplace. I actually pay attention to it a lot more. This is like the first thing I buy in a long time. So I've been kind of picky ever since I have a lot of stuff now. I can be a little bit pickier with what I try and buy. Not because of any type of budget, but just because I have so much stuff I really don't need anymore. So it better be good if I'm going to buy it. Mostly is the idea behind it. Okay, here's a nice wrinkled piece. I think it'll still work though. And so I'm excited because it was $20 And it's a lot of paper. And I'm mostly excited because a lot of it, they look like dental instruments. I was just told by somebody that it was a pedicure tool. I guess I don't know. I'm not a dentist, so I have no idea. It's possible. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was excited because I got not only Christmas cardstock paper, there's also scrapbook paper. There's, paper. And no, honestly, I cannot find regular paper. Oh, the only person that actually stocks scrapbook paper now, I think, is Hobby Lobby. Michael's done gave up on scrapbook paper, y'all. There is no scrapbook paper at Michael's. Good luck. They only carry their brand now, and it's all cardstock. All of it is cardstock. I have not seen any non-cardstock Recollections collection in a long time. It used to be fairly common, and now I feel like everything's cardstock. And so I'm excited to bust out this paper when I get ready to do Christmas again. And do it all over again, you guys. I missed a lot of things, and by a lot of things, I mean I designed a lot of Christmas stuff that I actually didn't even end up using. So I have a lot of stuff to use up next year. I guess this year, I should say this year. Okay, let me get the rest of my fabric here. And again, this is a lightweight fabric. It's bed sheets. So lightweight fabric. I'm not saying you should do this with thick fabric, but lightweight fabric. It works really nicely on this technique. Make sure whatever tools you're using for this glide out smoothly. That's the only criteria, that they glide out smoothly. Something pokey like this, and then a piece of chipboard paper, preferably a cheap cereal box of some sort. Especially one that has print, because actually I think the print allows for a smoother pull out of it. So definitely something with print. And I suppose something metal with the pokey tool type of thing that you're going to use, because that is going to be the smoothest way to go. Like I said, you could use a popsicle stick, but you know how popsicle sticks, they might be a little bit rough. It might snag on the fabric, and it might not. You might only be able to reach like this much here, down here, because this is, pretty flat, so it does go underneath. So you don't want it to be too thick. All right. Sorry about the lighting situation. I know it's not ideal, but got to figure that out this year too. The lighting in my videos bothers me. Okay. Let's keep going here. I was supposed to go to California this weekend, but I was exposed to somebody who was exposed to COVID. And so I'm not taking any chances with my family and her cousin, my cousin and her kids. And then she calls me back. She's like, girl, my kids have COVID. She's like, girl, my kids just tested positive for COVID. So you couldn't have came anyways. Not that it's funny, but it was just like, oh, of course. Everybody I know right now basically either just got over it or has it. Like everybody. Whoops. Okay, so let's go to the next one here. What we have? Oh, we got the black fabric again. Guess no, it's not been too. I need more other fabrics. Okay, so I'll probably just be making ruffles this weekend. Gotta be making ruffles. Because I need ruffle. I need to replenish my ruffle stock. Okay, that's probably, yeah. Hang on, I'm having issues here with my bobbin. I ran out of bobbin. You okay? That cat don't know if he wants to go in or out. But he wants to have all the options.
He just wants it.
Yeah, she always wants attention, that little boy. That little freaking boy.
I love him.
I know. I love him too. I tried to give him some wet food, but he didn't want it. It's got to be right at some perfect time that only he knows. He wants wet food. Okay. Got a little bit more time on the clock here. We can keep going. Going. Again, you can try. It's best to do this while you got something on TV that you don't need to pay attention to. It's the best time to do this. You do want to make sure, you see how this is crooked right here? That's the only thing you do want to make sure is straight, is this right here. You want to make sure the tail is straight, and then everything else will be okay. That's how you keep everything straight, and make sure this little tail right here is straight. So I really wouldn't, I mean, you could, if you want to torture yourself, do strips that are smaller than 6 inches. Because like I said, everything shrinks down to about half the size of whatever it originally was. So don't torture yourself. Do 6 to 12 inches at a time. It's just best. So this last little part right here, we tuck underneath. I sometimes like to keep my little tool on here just so it doesn't come back out. Sometimes it doesn't want to come back out, but not if you put a little bit of weight on it. Now you tuck in the next fabric. And make some coffee. Did your mom ever make you drink tea?
I didn't like tea.
She never made you?
No.
What kind of teas would she make that you didn't like? Tea? Honestly, I grew up drinking cinnamon tea. Like it was soda. What kind of teas does she make you? Just like black tea or green tea or what?
I don't know if my mom really drank tea like that.
See, that's why you don't like tea, to be honest. Because I grew up drinking so much tea. That was like, we didn't have soda. We had tea or we had water. That's why you don't like teas. We always drank mint tea. We always drank cinnamon tea. We always drank chamomile tea. Like, always. Work it. Susan. Have a good night, girlfriend. See you next time. And thanks for stopping by. All right. Okay, this piece is trying to hang on. I didn't end it in the right spot. There's too much where it was trying to end it. Too much. Okay. Now we can do it. We are almost done here, you guys. Like I said, I wouldn't try and do any strips shorter than 6 inch, and I wouldn't try and do any strips smaller than 1 inch, because you're just trying to torture yourself at that point. Trying to hold on to 1 inch right here is hard enough. But I think I have done it smaller. Tripping here. I have work to do, otherwise I would keep doing this. But for tonight, that's at least, I mean, I got at least half a book's worth. I'm just kidding. This is probably 1 book's worth of trim. This is like 1 page, 2 page, 3 page. Yes, like 1 book. Tedious. It's still a fun process. I don't know why I find this so much fun. I'm sure other people think, oh, why are you torturing yourself? But this is fun to me. I am weird, okay? Okay, we're going to tuck this fabric in underneath because we can. Slide. And sometimes this happens. This tail is not going to be long enough to fold underneath. And you know what? Life goes on. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't look that bad. Normally, I like a smooth transition, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Again, great way to use a bobbin that you only have a little bit of. Seeing the threads transition is actually kind of fun too. So I always go through all the little bobbins that only have a little bit of thread, and I use them for this. Again, this is very scrappy. Right now it's a little bit on theme, but normally it's a pretty scrappy looking bunch of ruffles. All right, you guys. So that's what I was able to accomplish making in the time that I was also talking to y'all and explaining it. It's probably a good 3 or 4 feet I got done. So it's not the quickest process, but it is a fun process. So I hope y'all try this out, and I hope it works out good for you. Don't give up if it doesn't work with the tools that you originally thought would work out. Try and find a smoother piece of chipboard. Try and find a pokey tool that you won't stab yourself with. And yeah, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I'll be back tomorrow night. With any luck, I'll probably be attaching these to the pages, or am I going to make the inside cover? I don't know. I'm still in the process of working through these journals and actually making them journals. But thank you guys so much for coming along the journey here with me. If you like this video, please give me a little thumbs up. Check out my Etsy shop if you are in the mood to purchase some junk journal printables. They're over there. I have Valentine's Day and everything. So everybody have a good day, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Same time, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye.